Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. It's the second video of the day, so if you want a double dose of GBFC on a Friday, check the description. You can find today's earlier Chelsea news video. But we need a victory, don't we? We can't keep seeing games that we should be winning on paper and that are very important at this stage in the Premier League season, because you've got Man United looking in scintillating form, which will hopefully end on the day of our Cup semi-final. We've also got Leicester falling off the face of the earth, and it would be a real shame and a travesty if Wolverhampton Wanderers were the team to end up pipping Chelsea to a Champions League place. So, what better thing to be, great, it's a relegation team again, just like West Ham, fighting for their lives at the bottom. Watford are in a bit of a relegation scrap themselves, so I fully expect them to dig in their heels, come to Stamford Bridge and probably keep 11 men behind the ball for 90 minutes, seeing Chelsea get 82% possession. Hopefully, it results in a win more so than anything else. That's exactly how I feel like the game's going to go. Watford, when we went to Vicarage Road earlier this season, they lined up in a 5-4-1. Chelsea dominated for large swathes of the game, but similarly to the majority of matches we've won this season, we won by 2-1, and come the end of the game, we needed this save from Kepa.
Flick on! Oh my goodness, he's nearly scored! Kepa's only save of the game comes from the other.
In order to hold on to the 3 points. So, what I really want to see from this Chelsea team against Watford, it's at Stamford Bridge. Even though there's obviously no fans, I still think Chelsea will dominate possession more at the Bridge than they necessarily would away from home, because we know the pitch, we know everything about the place. So, what do I think Chelsea need to do to make the difference against Watford so that hopefully, best case scenario, we win the game and it's not uncomfortable? I will settle for an uncomfortable, nervy, nail-biting last few minutes, because 3 points is all that Chelsea need right now. But the team that I am building in today's video is the team that I think can be more potent in the attack. It's the defence that I think deserves to be there after a poor performance in the last game, and I think that with the Chelsea team we're about to build, against any defensive side, Watford included, I think Chelsea at Stamford Bridge should have enough to beat them this weekend and get all 3 points. So, without any further ado, the game against West Ham was atrocious. It wasn't good enough, and the majority of that was down to the defence. So, the first part of the defence that we're going to build today is a man who's broken into the Chelsea team this season, and he's not featured much at all since the restart, and I think a lot of that has been down to the leadership qualities and the good performances on the whole that we have seen from Azpilicueta. However, as a result of Marcos Alonso's appalling defending in the game against West Ham, I have dropped him out of the team for this one. I've moved captain Azpilicueta over to the left-back position, and I've put Reece James in at right-back. Now, I know that Azpilicueta isn't always best at left-back. I'm actually of the opinion that his best season at Chelsea was actually the one where he was playing left-back. However, we know he can do a job. We know he's one of the best tacklers, the standing tacklers at the club. Reece James can also offer some brilliant attacking prowess as well, and we've seen that it's been a lot of poor crosses, it's been a lot of late crosses, and with Reece James' ability to whip in the ball with the striker that we're going to put in later, I feel as though Chelsea will create a lot more opportunities in this game than we have been in previous games. So Reece James on the right, Azpi on the left, and after the poor showing from Rudiger, and it wasn't exactly great from Christensen either, I have put in the hashtag Zuma Tomori partnership. It's something that social media was crying out for after that game against West Ham. We've not really seen Tomori that much in the second half of the season, which in my opinion has been a real shame. He's picked up a couple of little injuries here and there. I think there were a couple little naive things in some performances that Frank may not have been too happy with, but I feel as though it has to be. If Tomori's fit and Zuma's fit, which I believe Zuma is, this has to be the partnership for that game against Watford. I think we know that we may not necessarily give away that many chances, but the way we defended against West Ham, we would easily give away chances to Watford, even with them playing the formation I think they will, if we're going to play anything like we did against the Hammers. So, almost a complete change in the back line in my opinion. I've just moved Azpi over to left back, with the news that broke earlier yesterday that Emerson is on his way to Inter by the looks of things. I don't think Frank will use Emerson for this one, even though he's obviously still a Chelsea player. I think we'll go with Azpi at left back. Now moving forward, I'm going to go with a midfield pivot for this one. It's exactly what we did when we went to to Vicarage Road earlier this season, and I'm going to give the first minutes to Jorginho. He put in that amazing pass for Tammy to score one of the most beautiful Chelsea goals of the season when we played Watford earlier this season. But I think that the one thing we might need to do in this game is, with the striker that I put in, we might not have the pace to get the balls in over the top to run onto, but we need Jorginho there to actually be that transitional player, because the way that we move the ball from defence to the midfield to the attack in that game against West Ham, as I said in the 6 Things We Learned video, it was too slow, it was too pedestrian, there was a lot of sloppy errors. And I think with Jorginho in there, we know that his passing is one of the best elements of his game. So I think seeing him in that position alongside Kante not only gives N'Golo Kante that permission to go forward a little bit more so that we can see Kante's attacking qualities, but I also think that having Jorginho in there as that transitional player would be important for Chelsea to move the ball a bit quicker and start attacks smoother. So moving forward again, we've got 3 players behind the striker, and I think you've already guessed who the striker is by now, so I'm just going to stick the entire graphic up on the screen. Christian Pulisic, who's the man of the moment, cometh the hour, cometh the man. Captain America's the one to call upon for Chelsea right now. Mason Mount, I'm putting him in the number 10 position, kind of doing that press in Watford, making sure that they can't get out of their own half, and also Mason with that attacking quality to drift into the box. We've seen some nice little link-up play as well between Mason and Pulisic when they've been on the pitch together, and I think that is something that Chelsea can focus on, with Callum Hudson-Odoi getting his first start since the restart. Willian, it might seem a bit weird to some of you that I'm not starting Willian in this one. I think that Willian, for the first time, I'm usually like the energy of Willian, and the fact he never looks too tired is often one of my biggest praises of Willian's performances. In that game against West Ham, he looked very tired, and with all of these games coming so thick and fast, Callum Hudson-Odoi, with that injection of pace, his ability to try and take players on, I also think he's feeling as though he's got a point to prove, and we've seen with his Instagram post, he's determined, he's motivated, and I think this game against the defensive Watford side could be the perfect opportunity to see Callum come in, start taking on players, start being more aggressive with his play, taking a few more risks, and I think with the form of Christian Pulisic, with the Mount press, and Olivier Giroud in the box being a target man for Chelsea, I think it could be a very good game to see Callum Hudson-Odoi come in. Since the restart, there have been some poor Watford performances, and even though they're in a relegation fight, if they are going to have another off day, I think the team that is on the screen right now could put Watford to the sword. I'm going to make a bold prediction in this one. Clean sheet, which means this defence will be something we see moving forward. Chelsea 3, Watford 0. That's my prediction. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. We've got to be going for a Chelsea win here. Anything less, and we're in serious trouble with the top 4, because everyone else around us is doing very well, apart from Leicester, but then we also called that here on this channel too. But moving away from building teams and talking about how this game is going to go, it is really, really important for this Chelsea team that the top 4 is secured. I think a lot of the moves that Chelsea will be making in the transfer market between now and the end of the summer, they won't be all done immediately if Chelsea are looking as though they're going to fall out of the Champions League places. We don't want to be creating any additional stumbling blocks for getting transfers through. We can see with the way that we've conducted business for next season already that Chelsea are very serious about bridging that gap from where we are now to challenging City tighter. And of course, we need to be trying to overhaul Liverpool. We can't have them bragging about winning the Premier League too many times. I've already got my mates sending me stuff like this on WhatsApp. They win the league once and then they think they can banter with us forever. But Chelsea want to bridge the gap, and if finishing in the top 4 is going to make it quicker and smoother for us to secure the signatures of first team players for next season, then it's exactly what we need to do. Not only that, but I'd rather be watching Champions League than Europa League again, wouldn't you? So to wrap things up, I know a lot of people got frustrated with how cocky I was for the preview against West Ham. I want all of these match preview videos to be not that I've got the answers, and if I had the answers I'd be the manager, but I'm not the manager, so I don't want it to seem as though I'm just jinxing Chelsea. I don't want to believe in any of that stuff. I think every game should be approached with how can we best combat the opposition to give us the best chance of winning the match. So I'm very confident that Chelsea can go ahead and win this game. We need to bounce back. We've seen Azpilicueta's comments. He was not happy with the entire performance, particularly of himself, in that game against West Ham, and I think this is a real chance for Chelsea to assert a statement that we are not going anywhere in this top 4 battle. So a massive thank you for watching. I've uploaded twice today. If you've watched both videos, I love you a little bit extra. But if you did enjoy this one, thank you very much for coming. Hit the like button on today's video and subscribe to the GBFC channel if you haven't already. I think it's still 46% of people are not subscribed, which is a lot of people because we're getting some good views on these videos at the moment. So thank you always for tuning in, and I'll catch you tomorrow for 6 things we learned and maybe a Chelsea news video if there's any news to talk about. But 6 things we learned out after the game against Watford. See you there. Bye-bye.